We are Gathering of the Geeks, a podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking the one with Trap and Maxx. I'm one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso and my coach Beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Great. Gathering of the Geeks, it's available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All you have to do is search for Gathering of the Geeks and you will find us right there. Cookie and Eric, hello. How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? Chris, what's your hottest take? Last time we talked, we briefly talked about Beetlejuice, and you're kind of the Michael Keaton. I made fun of your Michael Keaton as Batman kind of thing. Is that your hottest take? Do you have another hottest take that you consider to be spicy? It could also be, you can consider it to be spicy, and maybe it's bland as shit. But what do you think? What do you think your hottest take is?
That seems, well, the Michael Keaton take seems to rile a lot of feathers. Like an ungodly amount of feathers. How dare I speak ill of the Bat God? I like Ben Affleck's Daredevil. Is that a hot take? That's not a hot take.
Yeah, I think so. That's a scary one, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love Ben Affleck's Daredevil film. I love both versions of it.
Nice.
The director's cut.
Yeah, the director's cut's a lot different, isn't it?
No, not really. It's still got the goofy stuff, but there is more substance there. There's also the subplot with Coolio back in there, which surprisingly works. But it's essentially the same movie, just extended, is what I would say.
I was thinking about this because I was thinking about all the House of the Dragon versus Rings of Power takes that there are.
Oh, I do think House of the Dragon is shit.
Yeah, and like if you say a nice thing about Rings of Power, like you're like on an island by yourself, and the take that it's like the Rings of Power is a better made show and all that kind of stuff. I was thinking about that, how divisive, and I guess that's what takes are. They're divisive, and they, like they're saying, they create a conversation. I feel like Rings of Power and House of the Dragon takes are very spicy.
They are. I mean, like what you like, of course. And if you like House of Dragon, that's awesome. It's just not for me. Too much in there that I don't like. But but I don't think I really have too many hot takes. I think my takes are pretty bland for the most part.
Yeah, I'm usually on that train too.
That it seems like the thing I said about the Penguin the other day might be a hot take, but people were agreeing with it
for sure.
They were agreeing with, so I don't think it's really considered a hot take. It might be a take.
That's the other thing. Is a hot take only a hot take if it's not agreed with, or can you agree?
So. I think that's what makes it a hot take. That, or it's just outlandish.
Yeah, like the craziest thing anyone's ever said.
Right. Like I don't know. Batman is the greatest film character ever made, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would you say your hottest take is?
Yeah, so mine is that the Dark Knight trilogy and like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies aren't the best versions of Batman. Like the more that I watch those movies, I like them less and less each time.
So are we starting early here? Is that what this
is? No, that has nothing to do with Trap and Maxx, but just that idea that like Batman Begins, the Dark Knight Rises aren't the best versions of Batman, and aren't the holiest of holy when it comes to Batman movies. I think that's probably my spiciest one, and that's really, and like you, most of my takes are pretty bland. You know, I'm like you and I both are like, yeah, sure, if you want to think that. Whatever you want to think, I don't really care, and
2 + 2
I
is
just
5.
like
Good luck.
Exactly, and I like making 2 and 2 = 5 often. So most of the time I don't overthink things to make a take, but I think that would be the one, and it's just something that's the Nolan movies just came up more and more with the Snyder ones that came out, and then obviously the Reeves one, just more and more that the other versions of Batman came out. That the Nolan ones, and like the Nolan ones I loved at the time, like beyond belief. Like the Dark Knight's still my favorite theater experience, but just the more I watch those movies, the more I'm just like, I don't like watching these movies anymore. I would rather watch the Snyder versions or the Batman Forever and Batman '89 and anything like that. Even the Batman, I like more than the Nolan verse. So yeah, that's probably it.
It's been a while.
That's a tactical foul.
It's been a while. I
It's
know
been a
that's
while.
cool though. I think that a lot of people kind of feel that way about the Nolan trilogy now.
Hmm.
I think now that it's settled and like you said, we've had other versions.
Yeah.
It has kind of been like, well, this one can do this. This
Hmm.
one, like in the case of Affleck specifically, the warehouse scene from Dawn of Justice showcases this is what he should move like when he's
Right.
fighting, just an
Hmm.
animal, you know.
Hmm.
And also it has the stealth aspects in it too a little bit. So I get that. I get that completely. Actually,
Hmm.
I liked Eric's question here though. Eric says, "Is saying that Mask of the Phantasm is the best Batman movie a hot take?" I don't think it is. I think that's just an educated opinion because that's a great movie.
Yeah, it's definitely a take because a lot of I think a lot of people just don't associate animation with top tier
They don't.
like
That's true.
quality or whatever. I think that's a take too. Is and like I think
That
if
is a
Ian were
take.
here, he would talk about Into the Spider-Verse being the best superhero movie and the best Spider-Man movie.
It
And
is
it's
amazing.
animated and yeah, exactly. But there people will be like, oh, it's animation.
Mhm.
So I think that's a take for sure.
Happy Hobbit Day. What is Hobbit Day? I've seen that around. I've been busy all day, and I've seen it around a little bit, but I don't know what's going on.
It makes me happy that there is a Hobbit Day.
What about the Harfoots
Yeah.
and the Stewards? Are we not
The
celebrating
Stewards,
them as
that's
well?
right. Yeah.
I like Stewards. They're smarter than Harfoots.
Yeah.
Eric says, I honestly have found rewatching the Batman better than the Nolan films recently. Ooh, I'm
That'd be a
kind
tough
of in
one.
the middle on that one.
Hmm.
The length, I definitely feel the length now. Now that I know the mystery and the Riddler's going to
Yeah.
blow up the city at the end, it all comes down to Officer Martinez saving the day. I love it still, but it is a different watch now. But I still love
Hmm.
the Batman. I'd still probably rank it the same way I did 2 years ago.
Hmm.
And in 2 years, when we get the sequel, I might rank it the same still.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we'll see how that goes.
Hmm.
Who knows?
No one knows the goddamn thing.
Not you.
Yeah. Okay, Chris, what'd you get up to the last couple weeks? We took last week off. So what'd you get up to?
I got to a few things. I read a couple of comics. I think
Yay.
you've read these two. I read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #2. You didn't read it?
I didn't.
Oh, it was good. It's
No.
uh, it's from Michelangelo's point of view, so it's kind of like that animated series that's on Paramount right now. They're
Mm.
divided, and then like each issue is another one. So
Hmm.
this one is Mikey's issue, and it was really interesting because they did something pretty cool. This is not a spoiler. Mikey's in Japan, and he's a TV star.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's got like a television show over there. It's like an action thing, and he's really popular. It's very cool.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is fun, and it's really just interesting to see the turtles kind of do stuff other than Ninja Turtling. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
neat. Also, seeing them without the masks so much or the bandanas is
Hmm.
very odd. I'm not
It's
getting
very
used to.
off-putting. I would agree
Yes,
with that.
I'm
There
I'm
was
not
something
getting
else that
used
was like that
the
where
the,
they
the
didn't wear
animated
them.
movie. It had them without the bandanas.
Oh, did it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there was that scene where they're like at school.
Hmm. Oh,
And
yes,
they're
yes,
being
yes, yes.
yeah, they were like accepting. It was just like, whoa, this is odd. This is not the way it's supposed to be. But
Hmm.
I like the idea of it. I think it's fun. Also, the comic is insanely violent.
That's
So there's
always a
that.
good thing.
Yes, it is fun to see violence. So, but I really enjoyed that. I've been kind of in a turtle mood, I guess. After reading Last
Mm.
Ronin, I'm
Hmm.
just all in on Ninja Turtles right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been meaning to catch up with the other stuff from the Last Ronin universe, but I say this a lot, but it's been a lot
Sure.
this month. I've had a
Yeah,
lot
no
going on.
worries.
So yeah, that was fun. And then I read. I don't know the name of it because is it called The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween?
Oh, the new one?
Yeah, what the hell is it called?
Oh, it's the Long Halloween, the Last Halloween. Yeah, that's what it's called.
So I imagine the next one will be the longest Halloween of the last Halloween, part
Obviously.
7.
Oh, did you? There was some kind of prologue issue
It was a
or
prologue.
whatever that
Yes.
came out. Yeah, I didn't read that yet.
Yeah, I read that the other night. That was
Hmm.
immaculate. Just as you'd
Mhm.
expect it to be, though. It's low back, so he's telling his
Mhm.
story again. A lot of good stuff, a lot of good Harvey stuff, which always works for me.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah,
art
the
is
first
very
issue is
pretty.
there next week, I think.
Yeah, the
The
issue number 1
actual
is
first
next week.
issue.
This just sets it all up. I don't
Mhm.
know exactly what this has to do with what's coming, because this one is mostly about Calendar Man and Harvey. But
Hmm.
it was a good read. The art, if you like Tim Sale, you'll love it. If you don't like Tim Sale, sorry, bro.
Mhm.
I don't really like Tim Sale, so I'm in the latter category.
Was that the prologue issue drawn by Tim Sale, or is it by
Yeah, I
the
believe
artist
it
that's
was.
doing the other ones?
No, I believe this is the one that's done by him. Hey,
Okay,
Andrew. I'm pretty sure because the final page has his signature, so I believe this was from him.
gotcha.
If not,
Because it's a
someone
new
emulated the
artist
style
every issue, I
perfectly.
think.
Oh,
Mhm.
is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just looking at it now. The first issue has Eduardo Riso on it,
Hmm.
and then the next one has Klaus Janison, and then the next one after that one is Mark Chirella. So I guess Loeb got a new artist on every issue.
Whenever I hear
Too,
the
so
name Klaus, like I don't hear it normally. I hear it like a Russian screaming it.
Klaus.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Or German. Is that German? I don't know.
I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to say.
Just a foreign gentleman. Um, we had Long Halloween, Last Halloween prologue, solid read,
Mhm.
especially if you enjoy Long Halloween, Dark Victory, whatever the hell the other thing was called. I don't remember anymore. And now this.
Oh, Haunted Night.
No, not Haunted Night. Remember the thing they
Oh.
put out? I think it was last year. That was really good too.
Oh, right. That other.
What?
I forgot about that one.
I did too until I was reading. I was like, oh wait a minute, this is
Son of a
connecting.
bitch. Yeah.
And I know I have it somewhere, and I was gonna dig for it, but I'm like, no, I don't want to disrupt the
Mhm.
piles.
Yeah. Don't do that.
No, I don't want to disrupt the piles. There was also, I thought you would have read Joker: The World this week.
I didn't read. I only read one new comic for the last 2 weeks. I read a whole bunch of old ones. So.
Well, that one has the tie-in to Three Jokers, so I thought you'd be all over it.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Was that last week or the week before? Do you
Last
remember?
week. I didn't realize it was
Okay.
an anthology book because I would grab it. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a fun read." Then I looked at it. Wait a minute, this is 100
Hmm.
over 100 pages. I don't want
Yeah,
this.
that's right. That's right.
I just want the one story.
Yeah, I know that was the same thing with those that Tom King, Mitch Garrett's book that
Yeah,
was in Brave and the Bold. Yeah,
I just
just
wanted
want
the
the one
Joker story.
story. That's
I
right.
don't care about anything else in this book.
Yeah.
Andrew says, I'm reading Batman Hush for the first time. Oh, that's a good
Oof.
time. How deep are you into it? And do you know do you already know the ending to it? Or I'm curious. I feel like comic book spoilers like that aren't everywhere, you know?
No.
Like I'm sure you could meet a comic reader who has read enough Batman but doesn't know the ending to the Long Halloween. I don't think Jeff Loeb knows the ending to the Halloween though, to be fair.
Yeah. Who was the killer?
He once said it's in the book. I'm like, okay, it's not, buddy.
Hmm.
That's why I like the animated movie. There's an official answer. Oh,
Oh,
you don't
really?
know the
No.
ending. Okay, that's cool.
Oh, goody.
I'm looking forward to when you finish it. I'm just past where Ivy took control of Superman. Oh, that's good stuff. That's some good stuff coming.
I
I
haven't
like
read
Hush
Hush
stuff.
in a very long time.
Oh, really? Hush is one of my favorites, actually.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while.
I just love Jeff Loeb. I don't
Always
think
makes
Jeff
me.
Loeb misses.
No, I don't think you're wrong about that. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
I watched him do a Comic Con panel once. It was pretty fun. He talked about all kinds of
Mm,
stuff. I was cosplaying as the Joker at the time, and he referred to me for something. I forgot why, but it was fun.
beautiful.
It was.
Beautiful.
I think it made my year.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Yeah. Just after he started talking about, I think it was Commando or something. I don't remember.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando?
Yeah, he wrote Commando.
He did not.
He did. Jeff Loeb.
Really?
Yeah, Jeff Loeb was a TV or movie guy before comics,
Holy. Now that's my new favorite movie.
isn't it?
I
Get in the
love Commando,
chopper.
but yeah. That's Predator.
Is it?
Yes.
It's Arnold screaming. Who cares?
Oh man,
You
Commando.
hear it once, you
Jeff
hear it
Loeb.
10 times. Maybe
That's
you wrote,
so
no, it
funny.
wasn't Predator he wrote. I think it was definitely Commando.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Are you sure getting the chopper's Predator?
Isn't it? Get
what's
through the
Commando then?
job. Yeah, it's Predator for sure.
Okay.
Commando?
Commando
I don't
is
know, he
definitely Jeff Loeb is the writer, though.
At the end, he throws that pipe into the guy and he says, let off some steam.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Commando's a big one. A big one for one-liners. Just crazy, awesome deaths.
And lots of screaming from Arnold as usual.
Yeah, of course.
I remember watching Commando when I was really young, and I didn't even understand what it was. It's like this. I know this guy from something, and he's doing action. This is cool.
That's right.
Right, you got those. So, have you seen the Compact Comics?
I've heard about them and I've briefly seen them like on people's Twitter, but I haven't seen one in real life. I really don't even know what they are.
They're just small versions of the comics. And I was reading earlier that they're doing manga numbers, which I guess is good.
So like it's smaller in your hand, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting.
They're just smaller, and it's the whole thing for $10, like a whole run or something.
Sweet deal.
Eric says now I have to rewatch Commando. Yeah,
I really have to. If it says Jeff Loeb, I'm taking a picture of it and posting it on Twitter, just for fun.
Yeah, and I guess not a lot. I didn't know that till he said it.
No.
And he explained his journey through film and TV, and that's why he was a writer on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because that's his thing. So,
that is so cool.
What did you read?
Okay, so I caught up on. Well, last time we talked, you asked why, and you were surprised that I hadn't read Minor Arcana from Jeff Lemire. So I did that, and it's very, very good. I mentioned a few weeks ago when I was reading Precious Metal that reading an ongoing series after a while, you're just like, that's a good issue. Let's just go on to the next one and keep reading because it's hard to kind of review or talk about an issue by issue when it's such a long series because they're all pretty much good. So Minor Arcana #1 is quite good. But so then today I read all 7 issues of Fish Flies, Lemire's book that he did for his Substack, and then Image came out with it. And in issue #6, there's a scene, or in the book, a character goes to a psychic, and the psychic is the same psychic that's in Minor Arcana, which is kind of a cool relation. What's funny about it is that Fish Flies is an Image book, and Minor Arcana is a Boom Studios book. So not that it really matters, but I think, and Lemire's kind of got his own way of connecting things. They all take place in like small Canadian towns, which is kind of fun. So anyways, Minor Arcana is very good, but then Fish Flies 1 through 7, which I finally finished because I had only gone up to issue, I think it was 4 or 5. I read it on his Substack, and then I started collecting the physical copies and never read them. Anyway, so I finally read all of that. It's very good. I have no qualms about that. Just kind of a cool, I don't know what you'd call it, horror, science fiction-y type story where a little girl literally follows around a giant bug from issues 1 through 7. But it's kind of tied into I don't know if this is a Canadian thing, but these type of bugs. He calls them fish flies in the book. Where I'm from, we call them shad flies. And it's a bug that only comes for 1 week a year, and it literally covers the entire town. Like you can look it up online where like you walk and you're stepping on them. They're all over the cars. They're all over buildings. They're all over everything. They last for 2 days and then they die and they go away. What's that?
You're fine with locust.
Yeah, that's right. It's like that where they just cover everything. So it's a very Canadian thing. When I lived in a town called North Bay, when I went to school, they were everywhere. Like you couldn't go outside because they just literally cover you. So it's quite the interesting thing, and how that's bled into the book. It's very cool. Us Canadians are quite the proud people and like seeing ourselves in media. So seeing something that I literally experienced in Fish Flies, Shad Flies, in a Jeff Lemire book is always good fun.
I'm still stuck on something. You said the flies get on you.
Literally, like if you go outside and like while they're covering everything else and you walk, like you'll step on them and then they'll literally cover you. Like they cover everything else. They cover the side of buildings. They cover cars, street lamps, the literal ground. If you're
So are
driving in
you-
your car will just can be completely smushed in them. Look
so
it
are
up
you-
online. Anyone, just go to YouTube and
I
type
don't
in.
think I want to, but I'm
Yeah.
just. I'm trying. So are you not supposed to go outside while these things are there?
It's not recommended, but when I was in North Bay, it only happened close to the water. So like the first a couple blocks from the water are pretty much covered. If you live on the other side of town, you don't get it there, and it's not everywhere. It's not all across Canada or
Okay,
all
I feel
across
better
Ontario or anything like that. Yeah. It's not like a week of the year where the entire country of Canada has to hide inside. It has something to do with it has something to do with the water. If your water is really clean, you get these type of bugs.
Well, I think Andrew and I will steer clear of North Bay.
I'm gonna
I will
I'm gonna I'm gonna post something on my Twitter about it later. There's like news reports and all that kind of stuff.
Should I visit Canada, I'll stick to Toronto and Vancouver. Also,
Yeah,
the
Quebec,
area that
North
our
Bay.
friend Cookie went in looked cool. So maybe wherever
Yeah,
that was.
Montreal. Yeah, go to Montreal for sure.
Okay, we'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Fish Flies 1 through 7. I read very good. Minor Arcana, very good. What else did I read? I finished reading, or I read issues 1, 2, 3 of A Vicious Circle from Mattson Tomlin and Lee Bermejo. The book first issue came out for this book 3 years ago, I think, is when we first talked about it, Chris. We were doing a best of comics or whatever. So issue number 3 came out, I think, like 4 months ago, maybe. So it finally just finished. Took forever because Bermejo draws, very immaculately. So that's first, the 3 issues of that. It's so good. What's interesting about reading the whole series after reading issue number 1, well, one of the things I completely forgot what the entire first issue really was because it was so long ago. But just more of the story and what the story was. I didn't know that the time travel nature of it. There's 2 time travelers, and every time they kill someone, whatever place they're thinking of, they get transported to. So if they kill someone and you're thinking of New Orleans, they'll go to New Orleans. So in a roundabout way, or what their mission is, is trying, or one of the guys' mission is trying to save humanity by time traveling. So, hey, let's go to Nazi Germany and kill Hitler. Let's go to the next place and kill that person and kill that person. So as they do, they find different versions of the future as they get to them, which is kind of a cool thing. Like they kill Hitler, and then this guy goes to a bar and asked, "Have you heard of Hitler?" And they have this kind of conversation that there was no Hitler and there was no World War II and all this, that, and the other thing. So the time travel nature of it was awfully fun, and thinking about time travel now with Mattson Tomlin, who wrote that book, and then him doing the Terminator book, the guy's got a thing for time travel,
There's a Terminator
which
book?
is fun. Sorry, not the book, the TV show.
Oh, okay.
The animated one from Netflix. Mattson Tomlin did that. So that's very, very good. And obviously, we don't have to, or I don't have to talk about Lee Bermejo very much. He's one of my favorite artists, maybe my favorite artist. But seeing him do an entire series is fun because basically all we ever see from him is just covers.
Lately, it is, yeah.
Yeah. So just fun to see a whole series, and in each issue, in different parts of pages, he draws in different styles depending on where they are. So there's the super realistic, there's the little more artsy stuff, more colorful, messier lines. So it's kind of cool seeing the variations that he does for that. So that's A Vicious Circle. I did have another one I want to talk about, but I want to talk about something that I read brand new, which I didn't know about until I saw some people talk about it online. And that's The Moon is Following Us. Issue number 1 came out this week.
Yeah, I saw that. I was gonna read. I was like, I don't know if I want to. Tell us about it.
Yeah, you don't like sad. You're not the sad comic guy.
It's sad comic.
Yes,
No, I like
sad
Quake.
comic. Yeah, it's Daniel Warren Johnson. Doing it. Yeah.
Damn.
So I tweeted about it after I read it, and the book kind of snuck up on me a little bit. For the first 3 quarters of the book, it's like a sci-fi action type of story. But then the last quarter of the book, it makes a change where the Daniel Warren Johnson seeps through, and in the first 3 quarters of the book, it's one artist, and then the last quarter of the book, it's Daniel Warren Johnson doing the art. So there, I don't want to spoil it if you are going to read it, or if anybody's going to read it. But if you like Daniel Warren Johnson stories where there's literal big action, like if you like wrestling comics where there's over the top wrestling, but then there's a heartfelt story. If you like Murder Falcon, where there's a giant falcon who plays rock and roll, but then there's a very emotional story. If you like that kind of stuff, this book is very much for you, and it's very much one of my favorite first issues of the year so far. Chris, you should read it. It's a good time. Just that Daniel Warren Johnson's very sad. He makes things very sad.
He makes everything sad. Like everything. Even the wrestling comic. That was it. That would have been so much fun if it wasn't depressing. I didn't finish Jurassic League, but I'm sure somebody dies and it's sad.
Actually, I'd have to think about that if that was. I don't think that's a sad book.
Maybe the Joker Raptor eats Alfred Raptor or whatever the hell Alfred
Obviously.
is. I don't know.
Obviously, that's it.
I mean, yeah, because Alfred would also be a raptor, I would think.
Yeah.
Or an Oldosaurus. I just came up with that.
I like Oldosaurus. That's good.
Oldosaurus, yeah.
Yeah, so I read a lot. I'll talk about another book next week, Chip Zdarsky one, that I got caught up on that I want to talk about too, but we'll get to that one later.
Okay.
So that's my read.
Because I did see it. I was curious.
You should read it. It is quite good. It is different from Daniel Warren Johnson's regular stuff, mostly because of the different artist that's on it. And there's a reason for that, which is so it's very different kind of comic than his just his regular stuff, but it does have the emotional stuff where usually someone's dying or someone died, all about family, all that kind of stuff.
Horribly murdered in front of a child.
Exactly, all that good stuff.
The world ended in front of a child.
You got it. That's it.
It's just the huge.
The huge. Yeah, that's it. All right, so that's my reads, Chris. What about some watches?
I kind of want to hear your watches first because I've been staring at the title of the episode.
Okay, so I'm going to leave the
impending doom.
I'll leave the impending doom till the end and talk about some stuff that I don't think you've watched yet. So I watched A Boy Kills World on Netflix with the one Skarsgård. Forget which one it is. Bill, Alex.
It's Bill,
the younger one. Yeah. I only knew about this one mostly from the trailer that I saw, and it looked ridiculous. And then the Bob's Burger voiceover. That's pretty much it. It's over the top. The action is wild. It's incredibly gory and bloody. The characters are completely over the top and ridiculous, but somehow it works. I don't know how it works, and I don't know if it's because it doesn't take itself too seriously with this Bob's Burgers voice, which I had never even seen the show, so I don't know if that helped me or didn't help me, but it was just kind of funny seeing the young Skarsgård with that voice. Maybe that was kind of helpful, but the action is very good. It's also very like it's just nonstop, the talking. The narration is just non-stopping. So it's just kind of fun and incredibly bloody. A very good time. I highly recommend watching that on a Saturday night or Friday night or whatever.
It's been on my list because I think it's on. Yeah, it's on one of the streaming services I've been wanting to watch, and I love Bill Skarsgård.
I think it was just Netflix that I saw it on.
Here, I think it's on Hulu. I could be wrong.
Okay. And the other one is Rebel Ridge, which is on Netflix.
I've been hearing about that.
Yeah, it's like New Age Rambo First Blood, where a guy goes into town, gets picked on by some cops, and revenge kind of happens. And that's basically what I thought of it going into it. But then there's much more story behind it. The action is very interesting, whereas in First Blood, he kills people, and there's blood and guts and everything. In Rebel Ridge, there's nobody dies, and the main character doesn't kill anybody. He still obviously beats the shit out of them and all that kind of stuff, but it was just incredibly good. The lead actor, who I've never seen in anything, was very good. Don Johnson as the kind of the evil cop was good, and that was pretty much it for people that I knew, which was always a good time for me watching something where I don't know anyone and I don't really know what to expect. But I highly recommend Rebel Ridge. It's shot very good. The action is very good. And it just surprised me because I didn't have any expectations aside from basically what I saw online from it, where people were just praising it nonstop. I didn't see anybody
That's
talk
what I've seen.
really badly about it.
Nonstop praise.
So yeah.
Joe says if you like Rebel, go watch Green Room. It's his favorite from that director. Green
It's the
Room
one with
sounds
Patrick
familiar.
Stewart, I think. Isn't that with Patrick Stewart and
I was thinking
the one?
Mahershala Ali and
Isn't it the one kid who's dead, who's in Star Trek? What's his name? I can't remember his name. He plays
Keanu Reeves.
Chekhov in exactly. He plays Chekhov
Anton Yelchin?
in the new Anthony Yelchin.
Yeltsin something.
Is that it?
He died, unfortunately.
Yep, that's him. Yeah, I think that's
got Imogen Poots in it too. Okay, I was thinking of a different movie.
Oh.
Yeah, it has Patrick Stewart in it. Yeah, okay. I'm familiar with this.
Yeah, I think Patrick Stewart's he's the bad guy in it. Anyways, I haven't seen that, but it's from the same director that that adds it, that puts it at a very high list for me. Green Book with
with Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen, yeah.
I think that is a very different film.
I think so.
How about that?
Anyway, so Rebel Ridge, very good, very well shot, well acted, great action, an interesting story too.
I'll get to that.
Yeah, you should. Oh, yeah, highly recommend. And Netflix puts out one good movie every 4 years, so this is the one.
Well, I think they had a good one this year already. I forgot what it was though.
Oh, really?
I think so. Didn't they? What year was Extraction 2? Was that this year?
That was last year.
Oh, then yeah, they're due for
one. And then I watched Trap, the new M. Night movie with Josh Hartnett, and I did not enjoy it at all.
Okay.
I think Ian commented on your tweet where you were liking it.
Yeah.
And I know, and this doesn't happen very often. I wish Ian was here to hear this, but I hardly ever agree with Ian, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. I thought the acting was not good. I thought the story was not good. And I just, as the more it went on, I just became very disinterested in it. And I really wanted to like this movie for a couple of reasons. One, it was shot in Toronto, shot where the Blue Jays play baseball. So kind of a Canadian, again, Canadians like to see themselves in it, even though it was called Tanaka Arena, which is always fun. Seeing somewhere, pretend that it's not somewhere else. Anyway, so I wanted to like it, but I did not have a good time with Trap, and I really wanted to, and now I want to watch the Watchers, I think it is, which is from M. Night's daughter.
Yes. So
I'm hoping for an M. Night or a Shyamalan redemption arc. Maybe she'll bring it back up. I'm not really sure. I don't know if you talked about Trap. I think you watched it.
I was just checking my letterbox to see when I watched this.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we talked about Trap because I believe I saw it after Beetlejuice. So yeah, we would not have spoken about it. I thought Trap was great.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought the prize, the story is ridiculous. I agree. The way it works out is ridiculous. Like, it's completely nonsensical.
Yeah.
Like, it is another level of stupid. But I just thought it was entertaining. I love Josh Hartnett. I think that he has grown into one hell of an actor, in my opinion. We know it's Oppenheimer is really good. I really like him here. And I like some of his roles as a teenager, like The Faculty.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good time. I rewatched, not to jump in, but I rewatched Halloween H2O, which I rewatch every other year, it seems like. But I like Josh Hartnett, so Trap worked for me. I also really like the soundtrack. That's one of M. Night's
the artist or whatever?
Yeah, that's actually one of M. Night's daughters that does the music. I thought soundtrack was cool. But I agree, it makes no sense, and it is insane. But I enjoyed it. And I also really appreciated it's not one of M. Night's usual endings, like, oh, the killer was actually the singer the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you about that. And, from A Knock at the Cabin, where the twist of the story is there is no twist. Everything they're saying is literally going to happen and does happen. And with Trap, I'm like, okay, well, it feels like M. Night's doing something different with his endings. And I don't know. Is it too early for spoilers, or can we talk spoilers for Chaps?
I
What do
feel
you
like
think?
it's only been out for a month, so
Okay.
I
So,
won't.
anyways, I felt like there was going to be a twist, and the twist that did come felt like this new M Night thing where he's trying to subvert his own, people thinking about his twists. He's trying to switch it up a little bit. So I kind of respected that a little bit. Because the one thing that obviously I thought through the whole thing didn't happen. So that was kind of interesting. Yeah, but yeah, just was not for me.
Well, Cookie says, from what I've heard of the Watchers, there'll be no Shyamalan redemption this year, and that's what I've heard too.
And there you go. Oh well. On to the next Shyamalan. There'll be another one. He won't stop. There'll be a Shyamalan movie coming again very soon, I can imagine.
There's always another one.
There's always another. Okay, so my last one, I watched Maxine. For the longest time, I didn't want to watch it. I didn't enjoy X. I didn't enjoy Pearl. I didn't bother wanting to give Maxine a chance. But then I kept watching that trailer, and the trailer is very good. It's a great trailer. I think it's just the first one. Maybe it's the second one. But I felt like, to me, all the marketing was quite good for this movie. You watched it. You didn't like it. When you talked about it, you weren't as harsh as you made it seem forever and ever afterwards. It seemed like it just kept getting worse for you the more time went on. Cookie didn't enjoy it. Cookie, I don't remember if you just hated it or if you just didn't enjoy it. Chris said he didn't enjoy it, but then his hate grew stronger.
The more I thought about
it. Palpatine. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so I watched it, and I'm watching it, and I have these these thoughts in my head, these, oh my God, like two people that I respect in a universe that they generally like, with X and Pearl, and they don't like this one. So I'm watching it, and then this guy gets his balls squished by high heels. I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm fine. If a guy wants to get his balls squished, that's fine. But the literal testicles being squished on screen, I almost turned it off just right there. But the more I saw Mia Goth as Maxine, because I think she's great in the movie. The story is okay. I didn't mind it. I guess is my answer, or my review. I didn't hate it. I don't see myself watching it again. I don't know. Maybe it's just because the mystery or what. If I did have to watch it again, I would say I would watch it just to see Mia Goth, who I think is great as Maxine. I guess I sold this way too hard, as per usual. But I enjoyed Maxine. I don't think it was trash. I don't think it was the best. I would go for the three movies. I would go Maxine, X, and Pearl. I think Maxine is the best, my favorite one of the three, having turned off Pearl quite early on in watching that. And X was just okay for me. So yeah, Chris, I didn't mind Maxine. I don't know, and honestly, for me, I don't see why you hate it so much. Now that I watch, because I watched it, at the end of it, I'm like, oh, I kept thinking to myself, and it gets like, it felt like there was 10, maybe 15, 5 minutes left. I'm like, why there's nothing happened that Chris should be like, oh, this is the worst, or this is not good. I didn't see it, and I think I messaged you like, what was it? Was it the ending? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't see it. I didn't feel the same way that you did about the ending with her father and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't think it was that bad.
I don't know what to do with you after that ranking. So the smashing of the testicles is actually one of the moments I liked.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
That whole scenario, like, oh no, she's psychotic. She's gonna kill you.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that, but I like nothing else about it really. And I thought like Kevin Bacon was comical
over the top.
In a movie that shouldn't have had that. Like
when
the Paramount lot chase,
mm-hmm.
all they were missing was Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Like,
they
where
go
was
up
the
to the
CGI
psycho
dog?
house. Yeah.
And I did hate the ending. I just didn't like it. You know, it's just
Hmm.
like Vic says, I didn't like them. The hate grew with each passing week. She says, I love Mia Goth, but they did her character so dirty in Maxine. It doesn't even, like, to me, and okay, maybe it's because I like the other two so much. That's
Mm,
why this one hurts, I guess,
right.
because it doesn't even feel like it's in the same vein. Because
I would agree with that for sure. Yeah, it
Pearl is
feels like a
wildly
different. Well,
different,
I would agree. Yeah.
but it still retains something of the
Hmm.
same feel.
Hmm.
Where this just went, okay, we know you like the other two, so let's just throw some stuff together here.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm glad you liked it though, for the most part.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic of it. I like the music in it. I thought it was very
Mhm.
good. Yeah, I like, and it's something about Hollywood lately. I'm really interested in. Like we were talking about it with Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah,
And they went to the Paramount lot too, which is funny. This idea about like old Hollywood and like how movies work and stuff like that. Was I don't know. Maybe that had something to do with it. Just kind of in my head about this Hollywood nature of it. And I'm not
I
sure.
think we should check back with you in a week and see if you hate it yet.
See, and I think I watched it. I don't know when that was, Chris. Like a week ago, week and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't thought about it. And I haven't thought about, oh, that was weird, or Kevin Bacon was weird, or Giancarlo Esposito was weird. It just kind of it came, it went, and like most movies, that was okay. That was good, and yeah, I don't know.
I mean, for the record, I did enjoy Kevin Bacon's character. I just thought he was in the
Hmm.
wrong movie.
Okay.
Um, but yeah. Also, I had probably bigger expectations than you did.
Yeah, I had low expectations.
Mm.
So and considering I didn't like the other two, um, like I like X, it's fine, but I didn't like Pearl, and then I'd say this one is good, fine, bad, and good is how I would rate them.
I still don't know what to do with you in that ranking. I don't know. Phil says
I think
Maxine
you
remains.
guys had way too high expectations. That's what it. Yeah,
I
there's
just
something
really
wrong with you guys.
probably. Phil says Maxine remains the biggest disappointment of the year for me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with that for right now.
Well, you guys, Chris, for you, I know you were really looking forward to this movie.
Yeah, Maxine was a
Yeah.
huge deal for me, and then it was
Hmm.
not. If Nosferatu sucks, though,
There's no way that'll happen.
if it does, I
Robert
don't
Eggers
know.
won't let that happen.
I don't like his other stuff except for Northman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't like Lighthouse. I don't like The Witch, but I
Hmm.
think I need to
Oh, The
rewatch
Witch.
The
Holy
Witch.
cow. Yeah. Holy moly.
Yeah, I need to
Hmm.
rewatch The Witch, but Lighthouse, I do not ever want to see again.
That's an acquired
Northman,
taste for
though,
sure.
yeah, Northman, though, fantastic. 10 out of 10.
Hmm.
Would recommend, as they say. Joe says Maxine starts good, ends like a dumpster fire. Yes.
I would agree that it starts different and ends different. Like
Yeah, the start is
it does
fine.
feel very. Yeah. I would agree with that. It feels different.
Yeah, there's just a point where there's like a switch and it's really
Hmm.
early on. It's like, oh, what
Hmm.
is this? I feel like that Joe Pesci scene. I don't want to say it because we're going to get the E rating,
I
but
already said it's fine.
oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, he's like, what is this? What is this piece of shit or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that? Joe also hates. Okay, so I thought I was alone on this
Hmm.
because I remember when I tweeted it years ago, I did not like this movie. If you're like, what do you mean you didn't like it? This is the best supernatural horror we've ever seen. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. But I am going to rewatch it because it's been a while. And I think when I watched it, I thought it was going to be something that it wasn't. I wasn't familiar with the Eggers weirdness.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the A24, let's embrace it kind of thing. Oh, okay. Cookie also hates the witch.
Hmm.
We are Legion. All right, cool.
That's very surprising because I hadn't heard anybody say anything bad about the witch ever
Oh, I thought it was
until
terrible.
now.
I thought it was boring, and
Interesting.
I didn't understand what Black Phillip was about.
Joe, boring as fuck.
Yeah, boring as fuck covers it. And then like the last, I think it's like 15 seconds. You're like, oh, that's what I've been waiting to see. Credits.
Mhm.
If Nosferatu is like that, I don't know what I'll do.
Oh man, I'm worried for you now.
Yeah, like if we don't
You're
really
putting it
see
out in the world now. You
if
put
we
it out
don't
in the
see
world.
Orlok do anything until the last like 5 minutes, like oh shit.
Oh, you don't see him in the trailer, do you?
No, they're keeping him hidden, which I think is better.
Mm.
I like
Okay.
these little glimpses that we've seen though. I don't even want to see him until the movie.
Well, I'm praying for you, Chris.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully it won't blow up in my face. We'll see.
All right, I had enough of being ganged up on. What'd you watch?
Well, actually, I started watching Terminator Zero.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm. I think 5 episodes in. I think.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like it a lot. Something that really threw me though, Timothy Oliphant. Is that how you pronounce his name? Oliphant.
Yep.
Okay. Hearing his voice come out of a Asian Terminator,
Yep.
and it sounds incredibly creepy. Like I think his first line is "Hey, little girl."
Yeah.
And it's so bizarre because I knew he was in the show. He was one of the selling points for me, but I didn't know he played a Terminator.
Yeah.
Or if I did, I forgot. So by the time it gets to like, oh, this is weird.
Mm-hmm.
But the show's really cool. If they ever make it live action and they don't get Kristen Stewart to play Aiko, I don't know what they're doing.
Nice.
It looks like they modeled her after Kristen Stewart. But that's been really fun. Like I said, I think I'm 5 episodes in. I might finish it tonight. I really like it. It's a cool story because it's Terminator, but it's different.
So different with the story, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not loving the AI thing with Malcolm in the room. I just don't get it, but I like everything else.
Yeah, it'll become more clear hopefully for you.
Yeah, I'm assuming it will, but so far I'm good with that. I did watch Lord of the Rings of Power, but I don't remember it, so I got to rewatch that. As far as movies go, I watched. I gotta get my letterbox. I rewatched the Batman versus Dracula, always a treat. And I watched H2O, like I mentioned earlier. The one that stuck out to me that I watched, and you know, I hate talking about stuff I don't like.
Yeah.
But this movie is god awful to me. I watched In a Violent Nature. This is that movie that was like getting all kinds of buzz. It was supposed to be like the best thing ever, the best slasher ever made. It's from the killer's point of view.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and you know, people were saying the kills are amazing and the story's cool. And I watched it, and I kept waiting for the cool stuff. I kept waiting for something great, and it's more like in a bullshit nature, not in a violent nature. It's essentially like he's just walking for most of the movie, so you're hearing a lot of like grass crunching and twigs. And then when you get to the murders, they don't matter.
From point of view, do you mean like literally like his eyes,
no, it's not
or
like
you
first
actually
person.
see him? Okay.
No, you see, it's like imagine like a third person video game and just watching him, and he doesn't speak at all. So what they do is they amplify the dialogue of characters around him that he's watching or walking nearby, like a video game. And it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. I'd rather watch Terrifier 1 again.
All right.
And I thought that was a dumpster fire. Okay, so Joe makes the comment there was less walking in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I said In a Violent Nature is like Fellowship, but take out everything good.
Oh man, no hobbits.
Just leave the walking.
Just leave the walking.
It's so much walking, and then the ending is this bizarre. I kind of want to spoil it so nobody else has to sit through it, but
no one's gonna see it.
it's just this bizarre scene that doesn't end, and you're hoping that the killer just pops out and murders everybody, and it goes on, and it's terrible. He says I had my subtitles on, so it just said footsteps the entire time. Like, yeah, I know. But that's what it is. Like mine did the same thing. It had like sound effects.
That is so strange.
It is, and it got so much praise, and like it's got an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, and like when I
Wow.
tweeted, I had people saying they liked it. I was like, okay, well that's cool. It just wasn't for me.
Is it just because it's different, like this idea from
No,
the
it
killer's
just
perspective?
no. So I think the concept of the killer's perspective is interesting. I like that, but you got to do something with it.
Hmm.
Like imagine the opening of Halloween when it's little Michael Myers. He's silent. He's wearing the mask. He kills his sister. That's
Mhm.
awesome for the 5 minutes that it is.
Right. Okay.
But stretching that into an entire movie with actors who I want to say they went to a high school and just started hiring. I don't even think these kids knew what a movie was. Maybe they're from an Amish community. I'm not sure. And and they just put them in this movie, and it's just bad. It's bad.
All right.
Even the kills, I don't even think the kills because by the time you get to them, who cares? I was actually counting how many of the teenagers are left so I could figure out how long this movie is.
That's that's an interesting way of doing it. All right, there's only 2 left, so coming to the end.
Right. Okay. Two are left. This got to wrap up like in 15 minutes.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'll be sure to avoid that.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to an enemy. Literally one of the worst movies I think I've ever watched.
Wow,
And
crazy.
I've watched some crap. I've seen all the Leprechaun films.
And enjoy them.
Well, yeah, most of them. But if you like it, enjoy. Teach their
2
own.
plus 2 equals 5. Yep.
That's right. 2 + 2 = 5. But I am out for this one. Give me anything else. Give me Johnny Mnemonic. I'll watch that again.
Ooh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, the dolphin's gonna save us all. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We're gonna talk about the Oswald show. You mean
Yeah, we'll
Oz?
see what kind of time we have at the end.
The Oz show. I'm done. That was
No, let's not. I don't want to talk about Oz.
no. Do a witch violent nature crossover. Joe, you want people to just sleep in the theater? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
that's right. Whoever's looking to go take a nap, Chris will be there.
I mean, if they offer free naps during the day at AMC, I'm there because that's what that'll be, or like a sleep aid, some kind of mashup. They both take place in a forest anyway.
Interesting.
Also, one last thing, and then I'm done ranting about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many damn days pass because they keep showing this character just walking, and the time changes.
So much walking.
It's like if I just played Red Dead Redemption, just kept walking.
I'd rather do that.
A lot of
like a
people
great
suffer from insomnia. Yeah, and I think this is the cure. That would be the cure.
the cure.
It's funny, actually. I rarely rest my phone when I'm watching something, but I
Mhm.
texted Phil and Anthony that this movie was putting me to sleep. So
did it? I haven't seen. Oh, Phil says painful.
yeah,
Okay.
painful film. Phil doesn't like it either.
Anthony absolutely loves it. Then, right?
No, I don't think he liked it. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure he didn't. I'll have to ask him to make sure. So yeah, those my watch. Those were my watches. Trap, H2O, and this crap.
Nice.
That's that.
Do you want to talk about the Penguin? I'm not sure what your DC Unlimited schedule is like. If people are gonna not be able to hear your thoughts for a while, I know you had some Twitter thoughts about it. We were talking about that at the start, kind of your take.
No, those are fighting
boy.
words.
Oh boy.
Those
Oh,
are
good.
fighting words.
Now the attention's off me and my love for Maxine. Thank you, Joe.
No, we respect your love for Maxine. It's fine.
Whoa, love. Whoa, take it easy. Don't. I didn't love the movie.
Well,
I liked it.
your like of, I respect your like of the movie. So did Cookie, and I think Joe did too. Yeah, we're gonna do I think the first 3 episodes on DC Unlimited, so it'll be a little bit.
Okay, you got some time then. So yeah, Eric wants to know some of your thoughts about the Oz show.
I liked it. I know I talked a lot about it, and I ended up enjoying it. So that's cool. It does. It does feel like the Batman universe, which is cool. We could see more of Gotham. I like that. And I thought Colin Farrell was great in the movie. So by extension, I knew he would be great in the series.
Right.
That wasn't a surprise to me. What was a surprise was Kristen Milioti as Sophia. She's fantastic. That was a really nice surprise with her. Um, yeah, it just seems really interesting so far, and I kind of understand why Batman would not be involved.
Hmm.
This seems like it's not something that requires his attention.
Okay.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, so I liked it. I had some issues with it, mostly kind of the story aspect to it a little bit, but the characters, for me, is what I think is going to sell the show, and the actors. You
Hmm.
mentioned, Sophia's her character is completely unhinged, and from the look ahead, kind of the trailer that I saw on YouTube, it doesn't stop from what we saw in the first episode.
Yeah, that's what
Colin
he said.
Farrell, you mentioned Colin Farrell. Like I forget what his screen time is in the Batman. It's like 9 minutes or something.
Oh, I
Um,
thought it was longer. I mean, he's not in it a lot, but I think he's very memorable.
yeah, because like I can think of three scenes with four, maybe four scenes with him. The first time they meet, Batman goes to his place. I can think of the scene where Falcone gets shot, and then I can think of him tied up with
With Gordon.
Gordon and Batman. Those are really the only ones that I can think of. I think there's two or three more, so I don't know if it's he has the biggest role, and obviously doesn't speak a lot. And you and I mentioned the walking, how more pronounced his limp is
It's a lot
in the show.
worse.
Anyway, so seeing more of the character, seeing more of Colin Farrell's craft, I think is great because he's so good. I think they did a great job. Obviously, the makeup's really good, but now we're getting like full body suits. Um, we're getting naked Harry, naked Harry Penguin. And it looks good. Everything looks really good. Like the visuals, the opening scene, kind of the telling us what happened in the Batman with him
That was
standing by
neat.
the window. It looks very good. I think the show looks very good. I think the show was acted very good. Obviously, we got some classics, Clancy Brown. We got Mark Strong as Carmine Falcone, so it's going to be interesting to see how that's blended in. So for me, the actors and the characters, I think, are selling the show for me right now. And I'm just not sure about the story with the drops. I'm not sure about Vic yet either. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Yeah. No, you have
You
to.
had me
You
until
have to.
Harry the
No, it,
Naked
it, it
Penguin.
works. It works.
I have to agree with this. That scene, it works. It's very
Yeah.
weird
Hmm.
because you think, okay, well, is it just gonna be Colin Farrell's body? No, not that I know what Colin Farrell's body looks like. Of course, I haven't paid
Not
enough
like that,
attention.
I can assume.
Yeah, I would. It doesn't look like this. So it just works really well. That scene is amazing. And
Hmm.
there's something that happens in the scene, and he gets this look on his face.
Yep.
And I think if you ever doubted that he looks like the Penguin,
Hmm.
that's one of the scenes that show you, no, they did such a good job on the makeup. You just
Hmm.
don't realize that he has these strange characteristics on his face.
Yeah.
He's it's amazing. I love the makeup they did with him, even when he is um, naked and very hairy, much hairier than I
Very
expected.
hairy. Hmm.
But I guess penguins are feathery, furry. Well, I don't know what's on a penguin's body. I don't know. I saw penguins last week. I didn't ask him.
Yeah, don't
Uh,
ask.
Joe said, "Ron, have never made it through the Batman of falling asleep, and I fell asleep watching the Penguin." Eric said, "Kind of glad Clancy Brown sold me on him being Sal Maroni instead of thinking of him as Lex Luthor with a beard. I never think of him as Lex, probably because I haven't watched enough of the animated series. To me, he's
Agreed.
just Clancy Brown."
Yep.
Colin is just doing his best Robert De Niro impression with the Penguin. Yes and no. I feel like it's kind of an amalgamation of Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and every mobster we've ever seen
Hmm.
with a dose of comic flair. That's kind of what I see it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anyone else catch a certain Penguin related Easter egg? I think it was Burgess Cleaners or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah. The Burgess
I,
part. Yeah.
I thought that was neat. I was going to watch it after this. I will. Yeah, let it message me after you watch. I'm curious what you think about it.
Hmm.
Joe says the face scarring helps accentuate the bird look. Yeah, that's the thing, and I
Hmm.
think the makeup looks different in this series. I think you'll agree with that too.
Yeah, like even his gowls or jowls or whatever you're calling, like in the scar, like, and you get right up on his face in a lot of points. You can really see the texturing and like on even on one of his cheeks, like below just the straight freckling on his
Yeah.
face. Like they put in. It looks like they just put in a little bit more work. For
And
sure.
the nose to me looks different too. Like the
Mhm.
nose is more beak-like now, or at least at certain
Yeah.
angles, which is probably what they wanted. They want to give him like a Danny DeVito nose,
Sure.
but it does look really beak-like in a lot of
Mhm.
shots, especially when you watch that look ahead trailer. There's a lingering shot of him, and it's just fantastic.
Mhm.
Best Easter egg was Otis Burke. I don't think I caught that one.
Mhm.
I probably missed that one. Eric says, did he get the limp for the crash in the Batman? I don't remember it being pronounced in the movie. Oh, maybe that's what it's from.
I couldn't tell from there's a picture of when he goes home, like when it looks like him and his brothers or whatever. I don't really notice if he has anything on his foot there. And I think there's a scene where he walks through the door in that look ahead trailer. I can't recall if he's limping in that quick spot either. I don't think so because he was limping already. So, or
But I don't remember
was
it
he
being
limping
this
already?
pronounced.
Yeah, it looks more like a birth defect now.
Now
That's
it
like
does.
literally what it looked like now. But I didn't think about that.
But
Eric.
it could have been, after the accident. Now it's worse.
Yeah.
That would also make sense with the timing of this because it's a week after the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's still hurting from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame Batman didn't spend all his money, or Bruce Wayne didn't spend all his money to rehabilitate criminals.
Yeah,
He
that's
just
right.
beats the crap out of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That old argument.
One of the interesting things I found about the first episode was his mother.
Yeah.
From what I thought, and all the big Soprano comparisons was that the Penguin's mother is like egging him on, cheering him on to be this mob boss, to be this ruler. And the Sopranos is the other way around, where all Tony's mother does is just nag him and complain about everything. So that was and it started out like that, where she didn't take her pills or something, and he forgets. She
I think
she says something like the boys are playing somewhere, and you're like, oh, okay, she's lost her mind, and he has to look after her. But this idea that she is like the rooting force behind him, cheering him on, and even in Look At Again, she's still doing that thing. So I like that they're not. Obviously the mother, Tony Soprano, and his mom, and Oz and his mom is the thing, but it's a different relationship between the two, which I think I liked, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with them going forward, because I don't think we're going to see her more than once, because it sounds like Vic's going to be looking after her or whatever. So yeah, we'll see.
His car is pretty sweet. Yeah, in the movie he drove like just a regular car.
I don't recall.
Yeah, here he has a Maserati. Pretty cool. He came up in the world real fast.
Very
Or we just
perfect.
didn't see it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
He has a cool garage, I suppose.
Yeah, so Chris will have more thoughts on DC Unlimited when the first 3 episodes are out, so just make sure you guys are following DC Unlimited and you get to hear his thoughts, Phil's thoughts, and Anthony's thoughts on HBO's The Penguin. And we'll see if we keep talking about it. We'll see what the episodes are like going forward. Anything else you want to chat about, Chris?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Where can people find you and talking about all those things?
Eric says, what about the potato show, fellas? We'll have an episode this week where we cover 2 episodes at once. This one was my fault. Sorry, fellas. I just had a long week. You guys can follow me on the Twitter at thatchris70. I do a bunch of different things. Just follow me there. And I would love it if you guys would follow this show at G of the Geeks. Emmet is good with the other plug, so he'll take over.
Yeah, Gathering of the Geeks, it's available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. All you have to do is search for Gathering of the Geeks, and you will find us right there. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Cookie. Thank you, Joe. Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate everyone for watching on this fine Sunday evening. Andrew, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. And saying all that, I'm Emmet, and he's Chris, and we gather on Sundays.
End of session.